Caffeine and Coils, and I'm Deanna.
And I'm Jenny.
And I'm Ben.
Hi, Ben. Tell us what you do for Mingledorff's.
I am Parts and Supplies Account Manager.
What territory do you manage?
Northeast Georgia.
Okay.
Pretty much from Athens to Gainesville, back down toward Norcross, so that area.
Wow, that can be broad considering traffic.
It can be, yes. You have to have good planning skills and logistical knowledge and understanding, I suppose. Make it work.
All right, so in this episode of our series of touch points within Mingledorff's, we're going to just talk about what your day-to-day looks like and ask you some questions.
Sure. Sounds good.
All right, can you describe what a typical day looks like for you as a salesperson?
Great question, because that can vary quite a bit depending on what's going on with my customers. So there are certain days I have routines. I manage inventory for a lot of my customers, so there's certain days that I go out and do that. And then there's other days that I kind of plan to be flexible and kind of just whatever kind of pops up, and then try to work in, training sessions with customers, different products we have, new products, stuff like that. We do those pretty frequently. Of course, we got to take them to lunch every now and then, that kind of thing. So it can vary quite a bit, but there is some structure to it as well. But there's a lot of moving pieces when you deal with 30, 40 customers, so you kind of have to, it's kind of like being on call in a way all the time, but with structure as well. So I never know. I never know what my day's going to bring.
30 or 40 customers, is that how many accounts you're typically assigned?
I don't know if that's typical, but that's what I've got. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, well, some of them are higher maintenance than others.
Okay.
You've got the ones that are super high maintenance that you're going to talk to several times a week, and then you've got some guys that are kind of plug and play, and you talk to them once every couple of weeks or whatever. So there's a great variety there of types. So it's not as bad as it can sound, I guess. Yeah.
It sounds exciting, though. Like, you have a lot of variety for your day-to-day.
I love my job. I love it. I absolutely love it. I never know. No day is like cookie cutter, So that's exciting for me. I kind of like that aspect of it. And it's cool because I believe in what I do. I really love helping our customers. I love partnering with our customers. I'm all about the win-win. And if I can help them, then I help us and I help myself. And I want to do that all day long.
Yeah.
And, it's just different. It's, I can be over here, over there in 10 different places in a day, and I didn't know that was going to be the case when I got up that morning. Not that it's always like that. Like I said, there's some structure. There's some things I have planned out, obviously, but I really do enjoy it, and there is a lot of flexibility in the schedule and just being able to react quick and take care of problems. I like it.
Sounds good.
Nice.
What would you say is your primary responsibility and your primary goals in your job?
Growth. That's probably the answer for both. I want customers to grow. I want to make them efficient.
Right.
I manage inventory, as I said, for a lot of customers, and pretty much the idea behind that is to keep them stocked up with parts and supplies so they don't have to make a lot of stops throughout the day, so they can get to more service calls, take care of their customers, move on down the road. So they make a lot more money. Their customers are happier, and also offer them additional items that they can sell, kind of, upsell type options for customers and stuff like that, so they can maximize what they can sell when they're in front of a homeowner. So just with the goal, again, to grow them continually and be a partner with them to help them grow for as long as they can, obviously, and as high as they want to reach. So
how do you feel like you stay motivated during challenging times? So I know we've got industry changes that are probably creating some challenges. We've had some ERP changes on our side that probably created some challenges for you guys. How have you navigated them?
So at the end of the day, I just want them to be able to do what they do. So that's what motivates me. Like when we had the supply chain issues a couple years ago coming out of COVID, and you couldn't get flex, you couldn't get anything like that. I was spending sometimes up to 4 hours a day in my truck just running supplies from 3 different stores sometimes. But I was really happy to do it, and I took a lot of pride in the fact that my customers didn't miss jobs. None of my customers missed jobs because they couldn't get supplies. So it really motivates me to see them succeed when it's tough, and if I can be a part of that, I like it. I like a challenge. So that's kind of built into me. I guess I'm a little bit competitive maybe. But yeah, just knowing that they can do what they need to do and that I can help them do it, because that builds relationships, and then you can carry those, during the easy times. It's easier to deal with people when they know you got their back when it's tough. So
Right.
That's a really good answer. I love that answer.
well, it's like I said, I love doing what I do. I really do. It's fun. I not many people can say they love their job. I love my job. I do. I love my job.
What aspect of your job do you enjoy the most?
Getting POs. I love getting POs. I work with Daniel Rycraft, who's doing a great job. He works with me right now, and he's like, "You always ask for the sale." I'm like, "Yes, I always ask for the sale. I want the sale," and I'm really happy to get POs. So I guess that's the most exciting thing.
So if you were going to share sales knowledge with someone like younger than you, maybe Daniel, or the people who will, are eventually going to come up and take our place one day, what would be the best advice that you could give to them?
Always do the right thing. Always.
Again, such a good answer, Ben.
Always do the right thing. If you do the right thing and your customers see it, everybody messes up. We all mess up. Own your mistakes. Do the right thing. Fix the problems when they come up, and just let them know that you're there and you got their back. And I think that's the best advice any salesperson could give another salesperson.
I think that's such a telling answer. I mean, I feel like a lot of our counter people are the same.
Yeah.
And just giving them that advice, we need to plaster that all over everywhere inside the building. So everybody remembers that. That's good advice.
And when you're honest, it just makes people trust you so much more to get that honesty from you.
Yeah, I mean, again, everybody messes up.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think tendency sometimes is to hide it when you mess up.
Yeah.
But I've learned over the course of however many years I've been alive, I won't say, but that when I own it, it's different. People cut you some slack.
Right.
As long as you're willing to do whatever it takes to fix it.
Right.
They appreciate when you tell them, "Hey, man, this one's on me. I did this, but let's get it fixed." So.
Yeah.
All right. How has the industry evolved in recent years, and how have you adapted? So I feel like we've seen a lot of evolution. You talked a little bit about the supply chain issues and COVID, and how did all of those events just impact what your day-to-day looked like? Do you feel like it's reverted back to before, or are there things that changed that kind of stuck?
Yeah, there's some things that changed, especially with COVID. You've got a lot of people working from home now. So the residential customers that we deal with are recognizing, I think, some more opportunities because there's more people working at home now. So just trying to give them more options, because if you've got somebody that's home 40 hours more a week than they were, suddenly the unit at the house is more important.
Right.
So it's got to work harder, it's got to be better, the indoor air quality's got to be better, all those kinds of things. So just trying to give them customers options to, for add-on sales. A lot of people have kids that have allergies and all that kind of stuff. So you want to make sure you're making the most out of your sales calls and just giving them more tools. So that's changed. And then, we've got refrigerant changes. We've got tons of challenges with that, trying to get the guys outfitted with the right tools, hoses, everything they need to work with 454, doing training, all that kind of stuff. So you're right, it's always changing. We've got more mini splits now, so it's just ever changing. So you just kind of keep your finger on the pulse and find where you can help.
Yeah. Can you share some techniques that you use to handle objections from customers?
Yeah, so a lot of times in my specific section of the business, HVAC, it's parts and supplies. So everybody sells parts and supplies. It's Mingledorf sells Carrier. You got to come to Mingledorf's to get Carrier in our area. It's not the case with what I do. They can go to 15 different places that sell the same stuff. So a lot of the objections I get, is a price objection. Well, I can buy this capacitor for $3 less, and I'm like, okay, fine, but what's your actual cost? Like, you have to find the capacitor, you have to order the capacitor, you probably have to go get the capacitor, or whatever it takes to do all of that. How much time are you spending, in that process? And wouldn't it be better if you had somebody that did that for you? So, you have an assumed cost that this thing costs you $3 and it really costs you $60 in all the time that you're spending. Or if you're sending guys to the stores, I used to work the counter. I know what happens when technicians go to the store. They are not in a hurry to get out of there. They're like drinking coffee or whatever the flavor of the day is.
Yeah.
And they're hanging out. They're going to the restroom. They're looking at tools. They're staying out of the heat.
Right.
And they're not on the job. You know what I mean?
Enjoying the AC.
Right. So you're not saving any money by sending your guys to the parts house. So again, I try to stock stuff for my customers to keep them on the road. So they're maximizing their sales calls, service calls, making the most money they can. So, things like that. That's one of the things I use to kind of counter that. And that's going to make them a whole lot more money than saving $2 on a capacitor that they can get down the street somewhere cheaper. So
absolutely. I think that kind of plays into building that relationship with your customers too. Like, they know that they can call you for anything. And if they're shopping that, $3 cheaper capacitor down the street, they probably aren't going to get the same level of service.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. But again, just trying to keep them on the road.
Yeah.
And out of the parts house. You pay a guy how much, per day, and you've got insurance, you've got workers' comp, you've got all that kind of stuff. So if he's not on the call, he's not making any money.
Yeah.
So.
Alrighty. So with so many things going on and getting pulled in different directions, how do you stay organized and manage your time effectively?
That's a great question. So organized, I try to do things as soon as they come to me. If I get an email, I get a text or a phone call, I try to jump on it immediately because I don't want things stacking up. I've learned a couple things in my life, and one of them is not to procrastinate.
Right.
Procrastination does not help anybody, and it's a monkey on your back that you just don't need. So I try to just do things as they come to me, and I try to clear my plate, so to speak, every day. So at the end of the day, I'm not carrying extra work into the next day, unless it's something that has to be done the next day. So that's kind of a philosophy I use just to try to make sure that I answer the phone, and customers appreciate that. When they can get you, it's a big deal. So I try to just knock out things as they come. Logistics can be tricky because I got 30, 40 something customers, and they're dealing with 3 or 4 different branches. And, sometimes we don't have stuff in stock. So like I said earlier, sometimes I have to have that ability to be flexible and do what I need to do. So logistics can change throughout the day, but I just try to think it through. Like, if I've got this customer here, I have to think, am I going to be close to this store, all that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of second nature by now, but you're kind of your own dispatcher.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, we need to do this. And it's always changing. You never know what's going to pop up. But again, just trying to handle things quick. I'm a very task-oriented person, so I like to check off the tasks, and that's just how my brain works. I've got issues, obviously, so with that, but it works for my job. So that's kind of my approach when it comes to those things.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If I get an email and I see that it's something that I can do in under 5 minutes, I just go ahead and do it. Like, send them whatever document they're asking for, or, I just go ahead and get it done. That way it's not another, like, tiny little things keep stacking up. And
Yep.
And that's, I feel like that's when things start falling through the cracks, too. Like, you start forgetting things or missing things and making mistakes. So, yeah, that's good advice. But I like too, that you said try to plan your day, like, based off of location and where you need to be and kind of doing things effectively where you're at for that.
Yeah, and I mean, you get routines, even though it's not so much a routine day really ever. There are, routines that you kind of establish. You're going to be, kind of in this area or that area, and where you are, in reference to a store and how quick you can get there and get to a customer. Like, it just comes with time as you manage your territory. So,
do you use, like, your Outlook calendar, or do you utilize any apps?
So that's a great question. I should use it more because I was supposed to be here for the last filming.
So
and I thought I knew exactly. I do schedule meetings and stuff like that because I've got to have reminders for certain things. Yeah, I mean, I've got a notebook I keep and stuff like that, and it's still, sometimes things happen and I forget. But yes, I'm a fan of anything that's going to remind you to do something is a good thing to have, for sure.
So for those of you listening, Ben actually missed our first appointment to record this podcast, so we're giving him a little bit of a hard time right now.
Well deserved. It was all on me.
He made up for it. He brought the caffeine today.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's
he
right.
did.
All right. So if you don't have any more questions?
No, I don't.
All right. Time to play our fun game. So we're going to play this or that. So I'm going to give you 2 options, and you have to pick which one you would rather do or have. All right. This will be quick because I only have 7. All right. Sunrise or sunset?
Ooh, that's a good one. Sunset.
Sunset? What about you? Sunrise or sunset?
I do like a good sunset.
I know. I can appreciate the sunrise too, especially like if you're on vacation at the beach.
That's true, because you're up earlier than everybody else usually.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to pick because
I know.
they can both be really pretty.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather get a text message or a phone call?
It depends. I got to pick one.
You got to pick one.
Phone call.
Phone call?
Yep.
I'm on the phone call team too. What about you?
I'm a texter.
She's like, do not talk to me if you don't have
So
to.
for me, I don't know if you guys have experienced this with people that text. Like some people are so grammatically challenged, you have no idea what they're saying.
Oh, you're like, what is going on?
Like, so
here?
if I get a phone call, I can tell what you're like asking or talking about.
Right.
And I don't have to try to
It's easier to
break
explain.
it down. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I enjoy texting, but also, I don't know, I come from a family of talkers, so we all, like, we literally have a conference call every morning with whoever's on their commute to work, and there's like 6 of us at any given point. So, would you rather write with a pen or a pencil?
Pen.
Pen? Okay.
I'm also pen.
I feel like this one's hard for me to even answer because everything's so digital in my life now. Like, I feel like I don't really write anything out. So, I don't know. Probably a pen.
Yeah.
Probably a pen, yeah. Okay, are you an early bird or a night owl?
More of a night owl.
Night
I
owl?
can't really be a night owl with my job, but more of a night owl.
I feel like that's kind of true for anybody working a regular schedule Monday through Friday. What about you?
Anyone who knows me personally knows that I go to bed really early now, but that's against my will.
So how does that go down exactly? It's against your will.
I would prefer to be a night owl, but now that I go to the gym, I prefer to go in the morning instead at night because it's not as crowded in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up early, so therefore I have to go to bed early.
That's very true about the gym.
Yeah.
It is crowded in the evenings.
After
for sure.
5 p.m., forget about it.
Yeah, I go to the gym in the afternoon. Well, sometimes I go in the morning, but I don't go as early as you go.
Yeah.
Because I just can't bring myself to get out of bed. It's been extra hard this week to get out of bed.
I go in the afternoon. There's no way I'm going in the morning. I feel better when I go in the morning.
So do I.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like, if I'm getting up at 5:30 to, like, I'm sleeping in my gym clothes. Like, I'm doing everything I have to make sure that I have the least amount of
Toothbrushes by your bed.
Yes.
Look up, just go.
Like, oh, okay. Would you rather drive your car or a motorcycle?
Car for sure.
Oh, wow.
I would
did
kill
not-
myself.
I did not expect that answer.
I would kill myself.
You know, Deanna has a motorcycle,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
I would.
drives it.
It would not. I have nothing against motorcycles at all. I just know me.
I feel
I would
like
die.
I think I would die too. Like,
I would die.
can't. I couldn't do it.
Well, you know my answer then. Motorcycle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, give me my car. I'm happy in my car. Like, I'm going to feel protected.
I just don't trust me on a motorcycle. Like, you give me something that can go like 200 miles an hour, like in like a few seconds, I'm probably going to do that once. And
We'll
I
just
might,
get you on a Grom.
What's a what?
A Grom is like
Where
your
it
max.
only goes like 55 miles
Yeah.
an hour.
Oh, yeah, like a
And
moped
it's-
or something.
He would look really funny. You're way too tall for a Grom. He look like a
He would look-
giraffe
yeah.
on a Grom.
I've never seen one of these things.
They're
I don't
like
know what they are.
100 cc's or something.
Yeah,
They're
think
really
about
small.
like a youth-sized dirt bike.
Okay.
That's about what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, we
But
had
it
mopeds
looks like
when I
a
was a kid.
street motorcycle.
It does, yeah.
Oh, okay. Looks like a
Yeah.
street bike, but it's just
No,
kind of
it
mini.
is- I feel like it kind of looks like a dirt bike-ish, right? I don't know.
Well.
We're going to show you a picture of a Grom after
Yeah.
What's
this.
your bike? What do you drive?
I have a SV650.
What is that? Is that a sport bike?
No, it's a naked bike. So it's kind of like a sport bike, but you're in a upright position. You're not in that like crouch position. I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
I feel like that would be what I'd have to pick too because I'm old.
Yeah, I
Like
don't
people
wanna be...
ask me if I ride.
You're old?
Kind of. I mean, I have an old. My bones are old. Okay.
Oh, okay. Your bones. Just your bones.
Yeah, my bones are old. Everybody asks why I don't ride on the back of my husband's street bike, and I'm like, because my hip turns 72 next week. Like, I'm not getting on there. Like,
Riding on the back of a... Does he have a sport bike?
yes, it's
Riding on the back of
awful.
a sport bike is awful. I wouldn't do it.
It's horrible. Yeah, you're like crunched up, like in like a fetal position,
Yeah.
and then you're like leaned up against someone else. So if it's hot, you're just just miserable.
Yeah,
There's
I
no-
definitely don't want to ride on the back of someone's bike.
You can ride on the back of mine. I'll give you. That would be hilarious.
Oh my gosh, can we get a photo shoot of this?
That would be funny.
That needs evidence. Okay, pancakes or French toast?
Oh,
I know. This is a hard one for me to pick too, because I love both of these.
see, the problem with this is that French toast can be bad or good, depending on who
Okay.
makes it.
Well, what about pancakes? Can you say
Pancakes are. I
just
mean, you
pancakes?
can't really mess up.
Unless
I
you
mean, you
burn
can.
it.
You can burn them, but
Yeah.
that's it. So,
Listen, if you can mess it up in the kitchen, I can do it.
Like-
Yeah.
I don't know. That's really hard.
I'll go
Okay,
French toast.
if
'cause I
they're
haven't-
good, if it's like
Yeah.
the best that you've had, which one are you picking?
I think I'm gonna have to go pancakes,
Oh, see, I think I'm French toast with Deanna.
Yeah, I'm
French
toast.
toast is.
but it's like really close.
But somebody told me, okay, this blew my mind the other day. I watched like a TikTok or something, and they toasted the bread before they made the French toast, and I had never seen that before, and I was like, yeah.
Oh.
See, I've never tried this, so I might change my mind.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna try it. I'll report back.
Please do.
Okay, last one. Road trip or would you rather fly?
Depends on where I'm going. Hard ones. These are hard ones.
Okay.
Like I
I'll say
like
it's
looking
a-
at the scenery, but if it's like gonna take a long time and it's really
Yeah.
like if I'm going to the beach, put me in the plane. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
nobody
I-
wants to drive through
I
Alabama
don't
and look
care
at trees.
about the scenery. Put me on a plane all day, every day.
If it's far, yeah. Unless you're like driving out west or something like that, you know, then you want to see all that.
Still hard pass. Still hard pass. If it's more than 5 hours, I want to fly.
Yeah,
I gotta
same.
go. I'd say fly.
Yeah.
I'd say fly ultimately
Okay.
for sure.
All right. Well, that's all I have for our this or that game.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe.